got killed. Crack in the hallways would've never got filled. Imagine if Marcus would've never had to chill. Blacks wouldn't be living in overpacked jails. Imagine if Assata never had to run. J. Edgar Hoover would've never won. Imagine if Trayvon would've had the gun. Black live songs would've never been sung.
Who created those vignettes, created those images, they knew that there was no death. They knew that. They knew that life was eternal. They had a concept, term for it called Rehime Misu, which means the repetition of the birth. We are continually reborn. They understood that the quality of our next life is determined by the quality of this life. And so if you've got the principles of Ma'at as your guide, and you can adhere to as many of those 42 principles as possible, it means that when you come back, you will have a better quality of life. So if you understand that philosophically then, when you look at brothers and sisters today who are struggling, trying to make it, then what that tells me is that they are people who in the previous weighing of the soul probably could only truthfully speak to maybe 4 or 5 of those declarations. They didn't learn the lesson the last lifetime, so they got to learn it harder this time. And the idea is, if they strive to perfect living this time around, then next time around, they'll be a little bit higher. We only have the rest of our lives to get it right. Understand me, we only have the rest of our lives to get it right. So the sooner you realize that's the equation, then the sooner you can begin to make it right. And then connect with other people who are making it right and create more rightness together, which improves the likelihood of more people getting it right in the future. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Brother, your question.
I was gonna ask a particular question, but from your answer now I'm going to change my question.
Okay.
Okay. What you just said suggests, of course, that people who are experiencing great difficulties now have had committed offenses or not lived satisfactory lives in a previous existence.
Right.
Right. Okay. Most of the people in the world today who are suffering very, very badly are black people at the hands of the Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
What you've just said would then suggest that in the past, black people have then not lived proper lives. That's why we're suffering today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept that?
Oh yeah, and I can elaborate if you like me to.
Please, yes.
All right, so let's get back to it. We know that Africans were the first human beings on the planet.
Yeah. We
know, based on current scientific evidence, that Homo sapiens sapiens has been living on the planet for at least 200,000 years. We know, based on the latest genetic evidence, that the people classified as Caucasian genetically mutated from Africans 8,000 to 7,000 years ago, which means that Africans have a 192,000 year head start. So we've been around here a long time, which has given us plenty of opportunities to master this thing called life. And when we look at the civilization of Kemet, we see Kemet and recognize Kemet as the oldest documented civilization on the face of this planet. The Africans 6,000 years ago were able to create things that human beings today, with all their technological advances, can't replicate today. So we were at the top. So for us to be suffering now all over the world meant that we did something wrong. All right? We messed up. What did we do? How do we lose this connection with the Creator? So that's the question for us to ask. How do we open the door to allow these barbarians to come in and take everything away from us, and then use our own creations against us? Take our concepts of God and give them back to us as these religions and have us worship their gods to our own detriment. What lessons can we learn from that? See, so we're at a very critical point in our advancement. And I was talking to my sister in the back earlier, Katrina. We were talking about the cycles, right? Everything follows cycles, right? So if Africans were at the top of the cycle at one point in time, and now we find ourselves at the bottom, then what that means is that we're starting to swing up now.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? We're starting to swing up. So as we swing up, then let us not make the mistakes that we made in the past. All right? So that on this upswing, we can have a better quality of life. And that quality of life can last longer than it did before. But let's also, as we move up, know that at some point in time, we're going to reach the precipice, and then things are going to start moving back down again. Yeah. That's the cycle of life. It's unavoidable. Yeah. It's unavoidable. So if you know that, if you recognize that, if you live by that, then it means that you're prepared for everything that comes. The successes and the failures. One of the things that I learned from my Jacob John Henry Clark is that all history is a current event. History repeats itself over and over again. So if you understand the patterns and the cycles of history, then it's simply a matter of stepping back and seeing where you are in that cycle. You understand clearly what you've come from. You understand even more clearly where you're going. So you know how to position yourself to maximize your time and your energy, the use of your energy as you move into this new space. So the challenge for us, the opportunity for us now is to move into this new space with a greater awareness of our past so that we can make fewer mistakes. So we can maximize everything that's coming our way. I also know that the reign of the European is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And that they are going to have to pay for all the evil that they've done all around the world. So, as the playing field is level, as they begin fighting for their lives, that gives us a little bit of freedom now because their feet are off of our backs. So what are we going to do now with this extra time we have? What are we going to do now with these extra opportunities we have now to improve our qualities of life? What lessons have we learned from the past that will allow us to move forward into the future as our own creators of our future? That's the challenge. That's the opportunity. That's a wonderful opportunity that awaits us now. So if we are willing to live up to those things that we say we believe in the ancestors, we say we believe in all these things, we'll put it to practice. Now's the time to put it to practice.
Take responsibility.
All right? Talk is cheap. Yeah. Talk is cheap. It's what you do. Because that's the only thing that matters, what you do. So we spend less time talking and more time doing, and we'll be able to reap the fruits of our labor from doing things correctly.